It is Thursday. That means it's Tech It Out time. Some tech news to share with you. Brought to you by JRR's Pick Your Ticket Thursday on our Instagram at 1011WJRR. A whole array of different JRR shows that you might be able to win tickets to. Visit our Instagram at some point today to be eligible.
Yeah, it's the top post up there at 1011WJRR. Bunch of good JRR shows coming. You could be at them. And if they go, well, I'm not going to be the winner, Promotions picks multiple people on Thursdays.
On January 1st, the Online Protection for Minors, or HB3 law, goes into effect here in the state of Florida. This is the whole no minors under the age of whatever on social media, and adults' websites are going to be required to verify the age of its users. With that comes the news that Pornhub has made Florida the latest state that will be blacklisted and inaccessible as of January 1st. The bill signed in March of this year focuses on limiting children's access to social media platforms. It also requires pornographic or sexual explicit websites to use age verification to prevent minors from accessing sites that are inappropriate for children. To do this is where the Pornhub part comes in. To do this, sites would have to use an official form of identification, something that Pornhub is not in favor of. There's precedent for this. They've already done this in several other states that have similar laws. They say rather than even jump through the hoops and worry about getting dinged for violating the law, they're just going to block access to anybody trying to access it from Florida. It doesn't matter what age you are, just on principle. Now, keep in mind, those of you who are tech savvy know you go swerve right around this and use a VPN.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
That's the bottom line here.
I was almost just opening a business in my head called Porn Hubcap, which is open to all.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do it anymore if VPN is available.
In some other Florida tech-related news, a guy posing as a Volusia County official is arrested for scamming $48,000 worth of Starlink kits from a vendor. Keith Merard is a 26-year-old dude out of Miramar in South Florida. He was booked into Broward County Jail this week, charging of an organized scheme to defraud and criminal use of personal identification. This, according to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. In October, a company that sells Starlink satellite kits became suspicious of a high-end order from Volusia County's purchasing director, which turned out to be a fake order. So what this guy was doing, he was posing as the director of purchasing for Volusia County, making these orders, setting up a delivery site, and then pay for it later type. They'll bill me, 90 days out or whatever. And his stuff was being delivered to a warehouse or a storage place in South Florida, and they connected all the dots, and this guy was taking the stuff and then trying to sell it off and convert the funds into crypto so he couldn't be traced.
I saw Chitwood crack the hammer on this dude.
Yeah, so his little fraud party's over. Speaking of Starlink, told you about this a while back. T-Mobile and Starlink teaming up to provide a service which will have blanket coverage when it comes to cell phone use here on planet Earth, utilizing the Starlink network of satellites, low orbit satellites, to fill in the blank spots where there's no cell phone or real poor cell phone service.
Yeah.
They've already now are accepting people who want to beta test the program, nicknamed Cell Towers in Space. Now, obviously, if you live and operate in an area where your cell service is perfectly fine, you're not going to need to sign up for this beta program. But if you live in an area where the cell phone service sucks, or you travel a lot to places where it's bad and you're a T-Mobile customer, you might want to look into being a beta tester for Cell Towers in Space.
Yeah, I mean, think about driving to the mountains or whatever. If you're going on a trip to the mountains as you did recently, you can hit your hotspot and still do your work or whatever while your wife's driving.
This will eventually do away with the traditional satellite phone that you see in the movies, when they got to hold it up and find a signal out in the middle of the desert or something. The Supreme Court has said they will hear TikTok's appeal of the dictate that the U.S. version of TikTok be divested and sold off to a non-Chinese entity or face being, not offered here in the U.S. anymore. The Supreme Court is going to take up the oral arguments on January 10th. Ironically, the head of TikTok in the U.S. Was able to get an audience with President-elect Trump down at Mar-a-Lago earlier this week. So, they're trying to come some sort of solution here over the mandate that TikTok divest themselves of their Chinese owners here in the United States. We'll see what the Supreme Court has to say on that. The Federal Trade Commission officially banning hidden junk fees from hotel and ticket prices.
Good.
The FTC has approved a new rule preventing hotels and ticket sellers from hiding extra fees associated with a purchase. Under the rule, businesses must provide upfront disclosure of the total price of a hotel stay, vacation rental, or live event tickets before checkout. No more of this, hey, your whatever is $45, and then you get to the checkout and it's all of a sudden ballooned to, $145. We'll expect that, they say, to be implemented early 2025. AI, here you go, Taco Bob, your requested AI stories.
Oh, yeah.
AI poses a threat to the North American electricity grid, according to a watchdog group. North America's electricity grid faces critical reliability challenges as power generation fails to keep pace with the surging demand from artificial intelligence. Soaring electricity consumption in the next decade, coupled with the closure of coal-fired plants, will place huge strains on both the U.S. and Canadian grids. The shortfall could cause blackouts during peak demand periods in both countries and will be worsened by delays in adding solar generation capacity, batteries, and hybrid resources to the grid. We're just not ready for prime time yet with the strain that's going to be put on the electrical grid is the translation here.
Yeah, and blackouts are bad news. I mean, when you're in the dead of winter up north, 40 below, and you have a blackout and no power, oof.
This is interesting. Most iPhone and Android phone users, for that most part, if you have a newer and updated iPhone or Android, you know that AI capabilities are now being packaged in. They asked iPhone and Android users, hey, so how's it going utilizing the AI capabilities of your phone? Most
not using it.
Don't really see a difference and don't really use it at this point. Mm-hmm. Not for nothing here. I think there's a lot of people who hear the term AI or artificial intelligence. Okay, I hear it. I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe. Kind of like the whole crypto, Bitcoin type stuff. You know what it is, but you're not quite sure what you do with it or all the ins and outs of it. Not yet, anyway.
Exactly. I mean, when you Google something on your phone, it AI generated thing takes care of it already. So you're I've been using it even though I'm against using it.
And finally, there's this. America's political divide is likely to get even wider thanks to a new real estate platform that lets potential buyers see the political affiliations of their future neighbors.
Oh, God.
So you're thinking of moving to wherever.
Nope. There's a Republican next door.
Or a Democrat. Right. I'm moving to no Libby neighborhood.
Would everybody seriously just
deep breath,
relax, and remember it's the holiday time. Be nice to everybody, your neighbors especially.
Let's have a nice holiday season, retool, get ready for a new year, and hopefully, we'll see some positive moves that will benefit everybody.
You move into a house, you see them breaking into your neighbor's house. No, honey, don't call the cops. He's on lib. He's a Republican, too.